So, I have noticed that my 600-pound life season 9 has started, and episode 1, Mama's ready to talk about it, so we're about to get into it. So here it goes. So let's get into it. Let's here it go. What is up? What is up? What is up, Chubbs? What is happening, my baby?
What a top.
It is your girl, your favorite Chubb Bet here. So let's get into my 2 cents of my 600-pound life. So this is, my little 2 cents about my 600-pound life. I do talk about it here and there. I have been really gotten to the little episodes because, some of the episodes have been, woo, but, now it's new episodes. Of course, COVID is hit, but, some of these episodes go on within, it takes a year to record these episodes. So some of these episodes happened before COVID, including this episode, but it was like half and half with this episode. So we're about to get into this episode and talk about Miss Samantha. So Miss Samantha is 35 and she is from Denver, Colorado. Okay, she is 6'2". She's a tall girl. Okay. And she is 800 plus, okay? So she lives by herself, but she does live in an upstairs apartment, so that's a lot for, that way to going up and down the stairs. But I guess she don't go there a lot, go up and down the stairs quite a bit. So she stays up in her apartment. Now, it starts with a regular clip with them bathing themselves and everything else. She does not get in the shower. She bathes on the toilet. So she has a detachable shower head where she bathes herself. She says she cannot get in the shower because, for one, her belly weighs her down, and yes, she does have a lot of belly, and it takes a lot of breath out of her. So she just sits on the toilet, takes the detachable shower head, and bathes herself. She has a brush, a long arm brush that she reaches the non-reachables, so she can get herself clean. And she does not bathe every day. She bathes 3 to 4 times out the week, and that's a lot that I can speak for Miss Gina. We're not gonna talk about her. I will put the iCard in there somewhere. But she does bathe 3-4 times out of the week because it takes a lot for her to bathe and everything else. So she does bathe. She just doesn't get in the shower, but she does use the detachable shower head to shower. So that's how it always starts. Them getting dressed, getting undressed, and showering, and how they wash themselves. So for food, she does a delivery service, Grubhub, DoorDash, whatever they use. She uses that. She got McDonald's. Okay. So, the situation I say, her stomach is so large, she uses it as her table. Literally, her food sits there just not moving, and she's just comfortably eating her food on her stomach, comfortable. Okay, I'm just like, wow. Okay, girl, it's a lot. It's a lot of belly, honey. A lot to carry, and woo. You gotta take your life seriously, okay? I understand. So I'm thinking, what's going on with this? So we're gonna get into her life, her early years. So basically, she says she doesn't remember any time that she wasn't big. So during her childhood, she has gained weight. Her and her parents, her parents has been divorced. Her dad, she said her dad was an alcoholic. Her mother, she didn't really say too much about her mother, but she said her mother gave custody of her sister and herself to her father for a while because her mother wanted to go to nursing school. Her father did remarry, but her dad restricted her from eating so much because she, I think around 10 years old, she was 200 pounds, 200 to 300 pounds, I'm sorry. And she didn't like that. She didn't want to restrict her food, but she didn't never say anything about he was beating me or anything. She didn't really say anything like that. But I'm just where's the real abuse? You know what I'm saying? I think the fact that she didn't like anybody to take her food away, but she never said that they took meals from her. She was starving, or they went without meals, or they was living from house to house. She never said anything of real bad hardship. You get what I'm saying? So, and when she got up to 14, homegirl was already 400 pounds. 14, 15. She was already 400 pounds. He was remarried, her dad. They tried to restrict her diet because she was living with her dad majority, and she was going to her mom's house on the weekends. And her mom did not restrict her. So she was eating what the hell she wanted to eat with her mom. And then her dad tried to restrict her, and she was like, she didn't want none of that. She was like, you ain't restricted me for nothing. I don't want no parts of what you want. I want what I want. So when she went to her mom's house, she ain't had no restrictions. So the fact that when she got up into high school, she was already 400 pounds is insane. Okay, so by the time she was 17, she got pregnant by her high school sweetheart, or if you want to call him, and she was 500 pounds and pregnant at 17. Had her baby, and 2 weeks later, her and her baby daddy broke up. And her dad really didn't have a real good relationship, because I think it was the fact of her dad restricting her. And she said it was an abusive relationship, and I think it was majority abuse, a verbal abuse, to be honest with you, and everything else. So I think it's probably like him calling her fat and everything else. And you know, you calling somebody fat all the time is not going to help. I can understand that. But I think him trying to get her healthy was one thing. But you know, sometimes, you know, consistently calling somebody fat doesn't help either. You get what I'm saying? But you know, that I think that's the gist. I'm paraphrasing, okay? I don't know. So by the time she was 20 years old, her dad apologized to her. They was trying to mend their relationship, but unfortunately, he ended up in a motorcycle accident and he passed away when she was 20. She got into a real bad depression where she could not take care of her daughter. Oh, I didn't mention her daughter's name. She had a daughter. Her daughter's name is Bella. And she ended up giving custody to her mother because she was so depressed about her dad passing. So she couldn't take care of her daughter, so she gave custody to her mother temporarily until she got out of her depression. And around that time, she was already almost 600 pounds. And I guess she did not want her daughter to be without her. So I guess she kind of got it together and ended up getting a job through social services. And got an apartment and everything else. Got an apartment and got her daughter back. But unfortunately, she got fired from that job because she got fired because of her size. She just kept getting bigger because she didn't give up her love of food. So she tried to get another job, could not get another job. So she ended up moving in with her mother for a while. But how did she ended up moving out of her mother's apartment and can't afford to pay her bills without having a job? Now, every place don't give every person that's obese disability. You know, if you're able to get up and go to work, they're gonna tell you get up and go to work. So she is a fetish model, online fetish model. What does that mean for her? So she's an eater. She eats. So she goes online and she eats. So she sits up there and eats for money.
See, everybody, people ask me all the time, when is going to be that cake video? Well, it's right now. Thank you for requesting this. It's making me bigger and bigger. I can just feel it.
So that's what she does. She eats. She sat up there and ate basically a whole carrot cake online, and they paid for her to eat.
You sure? Yes, I'm.
All right, so now she wants to see Dr. Now, and her thing is like, I want to put to Dr. Now that I am changed, and I want to change and get it together. But what some of these people, and she's one of them, they fail to realize that you can't just get the surgery and everything. If it's not going to change mentally, it's not going to happen. But we're going to get more into that later. So Dr. Now already told her the only way you're going to get to Houston is through medical transport, because she's too big to go into somebody's van on a mattress, and you know how all this crazy crap that everybody be getting transported or whatever. But she's like, and they don't offer that type of medical transport in Denver because she's too large. So a few days later, after her talk with Dr. Now, she started having stomach pains, and she told Dr. Now. Dr. Now told her to go to the hospital. She ended up having kidney stones, but they could not perform any surgery on her, so they gave her medication and they sent her home. So a few days after that, about a week, she started having some chest pains, and she was not able to hold her urine. She's having incontinence. So her daughter came there and she called 911. Now, it was a lot to get this sister out the house. It was maybe between 4 to 6 men to get her out the house. She already had a wound on her foot, and they had to hoist her out the bed and basically hold her to get her out the house. And then they basically had to guide her down the stairs to get her out the building. And it's a whole dramatization to get this woman out the house, okay? And once she got to the hospital, she's sitting there and everything else, and she says she can't hold her urine and everything else, but I know you feel when you're wet. You feel it. I know you do. So I don't know if she didn't tell them she's wet, or did she call them? I don't know the break in the communication with them. I don't know. This is the nursing assistant in me. Like, you're sitting there wet. Put your light on. If something happened, you feel like you're peeing, put your light on, okay? Like, I check on you every 45 minutes to an hour. If you're having a wet between that time, understand it. Now, they come in, it takes 3 of them to change her, okay? But my thing is, homegirl can't turn. She got a lot of belly, so it's a lot to turn her. You will have to push her, and she's having belly and chest pains. So, homegirl, they put her bed up in a transverse, so it's kind of sitting like this. So, homegirl put her feet all the way up. Oh, honey, pat them feet up, okay? So they changed her bed where they changed one half. Then they lowered the bed, and she brought her head up, and she just leaned forward. And what they put in between her legs is called a PureWick, which is an external catheter where it sits in between her Golden Gates. It doesn't go inside the bladder. It sits outside. And the tube leads to a container through a suction on the wall. So once you pee, it hits the wick on the PureWick, and it goes through the tubing on the container on the wall because it's hooked up to a suction. And I will put the PureWick thing on the wall, and so y'all see it and everything else. Honey, that's what I do on a daily basis, okay? So nobody has to deal with all that. So it's supposed to keep it, from you wetting the bed and everything else. So it's difficult, okay? Especially with somebody her size, and she, you have to find where everything's at, because the bigger you are, the more fat you got down there, okay? So you got to literally get it down there to make sure it's placed, okay? So basically, they changed her and everything else, and after they changed her, she goes, grabs the phone, and order food, okay? So Dr. Now, he wants to work with the hospital to get her on a 1,200 calorie diet, but they said they do not do that type of strict dieting. They said they offer 21. She's talking to Dr. Now over chat over the FaceTime, and she said, well, they giving me 2,100 calorie diet, but he was like, well, even if you was on 2,100, you'll still be losing weight, because when she got weighed at the hospital, okay, the nurse weighed her, and she weighed at 940 pounds. So she gained within she's been there for a month, is it? And she's been there for a month, I do believe, and she gained 140 pounds. Because let me tell you what she did. So she was ordering food out. They didn't restrict her diet, and she was ordering food. She was getting food delivered and everything. So what can you do? Okay. So she really was, but she told Dr. Now I was ordering food. So Dr. Now was like, hey, look, I will send you food. I will send you the papers through email for the 1,200 calorie diet. So try to do that and everything else. So try to do that while you're in the hospital. So she was doing a certain diet in the hospital. She's doing physical therapy there, and she spent 2.5 months in the hospital. This is total of the whole time, and she got down to 900 pounds, so she was able to be discharged. So her daughter Bella ended up finding her a new apartment on a ground level, and she ended up moving to a new apartment, and her daughter Bella and Bella's boyfriend Ivan said they would stay with her for 2 weeks until she was able, to get her comfortable in her new place. So when they got her in her house and got her, settled, it's like, okay, see you later, blah, blah, blah. And, what does Miss Samantha do?
Delivery, please. I would like chicken strips, 4 orders of street corn, just house barbecue flavored ribs, mushroom Swiss burger, fries, strawberry lemonade, and then a molten chocolate lava cake. What are you guys gonna have?
When she first gets in her bed, yes, that's what she does. She orders food. So after she orders her food, she gets into this pity party. And her daughter wasn't having it. She wasn't having it.
There is a positive. You need to find it. Stop thinking negative, because then you're not going to find any sort of positive.
Stop yelling at me!
Then stop yelling at me. People are helping you. People want good things for you. That is a positive.
I want $6 million. Does that help anything?
Yeah, people hell up ice water.
Now, her month 5, her daughter was still staying with her and still making her food, but she wasn't making any type of food that was sticking to a diet. You get what I'm saying? Like, she was making her French fries and burgers and stuff like that. And they wanted her to start with home physical therapy and psychotherapy, because it's something that you have to work on with your mind to get going with this diet. Now, we're gonna fast forward to 4 months later, because this is going into month 9. And mind you that this is a whole year process. So all these months is before COVID. Now we're going into month 9, and now we're going into COVID territory. Now this is like after a weigh-in. She literally went to the hospital and was going in for a weigh-in, and this they was going to quarantine. And everybody had emergency quarantine due to the spread of COVID, and she regained weight and gained more weight. So she got up to 974 pounds, and her health started to decline. And Dr. Now, and she ended up being readmitted into the hospital. So Dr. Now talked to a colleague that's in Denver named Dr. Haydari. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but he talked to a doctor there named Dr. Haydari about performing a gastric sleeve on her as a last resort, because he normally do not do surgery on anybody that large, but since she's at a dire need, Dr. Haydari said, I will, perform it on her. So they did that. So he did the procedure on her and had her on close monitoring for 3 months. Okay, this is month 9. Okay, this is all between month 5 and month 9. So this is a 4 months. So the fact that after this is done, she got down to 638 pounds. This is her in the bed, and she looks upset because the fact that she can't eat what she wants is making her upset. What did you think was going to happen after this surgery? What you think what was going to happen? You wanted the surgery to keep you from eating garbage, and now you can't eat garbage. You upset because you can't eat garbage?
I'm going home. I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm disgusted. I'm tired. I'm not disgusted. I'm just tired. I'm sick and I'm tired. I'm going in my room. I'm in my room now. Y'all can't see me, but I'm now laying on my bed. Good night. Good night. She really had
what you thought was gonna happen, sis. So now, they told her that, physical therapy, she's working a little bit, but then the hospital's telling Dr. Haydari that she's refusing psychotherapy. So they moving her to a rehab facility because they're saying you are not able to go home because they know that you might revert, and because gastric sleeve is a tool, and you have to do a lifestyle change, and if you're not working with your mental with the physical, you're going to revert. I mean, you're going to stretch out your stomach. It's a muscle. So shortly after, they moved her to a rehab facility, and they told her before she was discharged, Dr. Haydari's like, you need to work with behavior health and work with psychotherapy. Otherwise, you're going to revert, and they're not going to allow you to go home. You need to do this. She's like, okay, I get it. I understand it. So shortly after getting into rehab, she ended up developing an infection in her leg and I think in her belly as well. So she was transferred to another facility so they can treat her infection in her belly and in her leg. Now, it's normally called cellulitis, which is an inflammation, and it's normally red and warm to the touch, and they had to transfer her to a different facility for treatment. And she's, at that time, they still remained in that facility. Now, after all of this, before she left the hospital, She weighed in at 616 pounds. So she lost a total of 358 pounds from 974. So, but due to COVID, you know how they have the confessional seating where they do the last interview and everything else, they couldn't do that. So they did the interview over the phone where she was like, well, I'm still in the rehab facility and they're getting my cellulitis under control, and I will not let these wounds define me and everything else. I will go home, I will be with my daughter, blah blah blah. Okay, so my thing is like, this girl just did not, she didn't have no real, she had her situation, she just did not, she wanted to change, but then she didn't want stuff taken away from her. She don't like hearing the word no. She wants, I want the surgery, but I want to still eat like trash. Like you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't want change, but then still want to eat like trash. That's not how life works. Like, I'm in a process because I came to the last little bit of my 3 years and I've been changing and doing everything, and I got to the point where 30 pounds, I lose this 35 pounds and I stop. And now that's why I'm going to the next step of getting gastric sleeve, because I'm literally trying. I'm going to work out. I'm doing all this stuff. This child is literally, she got so big that they had no choice but to do surgery on her. Okay? And now she had the surgery. She's mad because she can't eat garbage?
Don't say nothing to me!
Girl, that's that bull BS that I'm talking about. Like, there are people that get the surgery, they say what you want them to say, tell the doctor what they want them to hear, and then after they get the surgery, they come on my floor and be upset when they gain water weight, or they be like, well, can I have a nibble of this and do it for that? When you tell them no, they're ready to cuss you out. No, boo-boo. This was an elective surgery. You chose this life. You could have been doing what you was doing before. You know what I'm saying? And just like her, you knew that you needed to change. And you didn't want to. You wanted to change your size, but still want to eat like trash. You can't do that. Like, I don't understand the disconnection of gastric sleeve changed my eating habits. I don't understand. Like, and her mother, like, you was an enabler all her life. Why do you wait till her mid-30s to be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with it. You wait till she's 800 pounds to be done? I don't understand. But whatever, to each his own. But I'm like through when I saw that girl eating her food on her stomach. I'm like, girl, I'm through with that. But there is another episode I need to catch up on, so I will have a video with y'all with that one soon. I want to touch on y'all with that. That was a doozy. So y'all can catch that up on TLC. Hopefully they won't try to hit me with that flag, because I did hit not the last ones, but a couple ones before. But I will jazz it up, so hopefully they won't hit my behind with no claims. So let me jazz it up real quick. So I hope everybody have a good week. It is Sunday, and I'm gonna eat my dinner because I sure didn't have no dinner, slept all day. So I hope everybody have a good week, and I don't have to tell y'all what y'all need to do. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the screen, and I hope everybody have a good week. And if you stay to the end, thank you for coming around my way.
Sarate.